Okay, so here we are live once again with another Masters of the Universe Origins unboxing, and this is Lord Grasp. See, he's got the little comma in there, like asp, like a snake. So this guy is supposed to be the Snake Man strategist. I'm sure it would say something about that on the back of the package if I didn't have the tri-language package. But instead, we still got a nice piece of artwork. We just don't have anything to describe this character, and got some illustrations here on the back with the cross-cell artwork. Lord Grasp himself, Terror, Stratos, and Merman from the cartoon collection. Apparently, he was packed in with the waves with those two. Apparently, but I never saw Lord Grasp at retail. Otherwise, I would have snatched him up immediately. I think I did see Terror once, but like since I was a little short on money, I'm like, I'll pick him up later. If I'd have known how hard to find that figure was going to be, I probably would have picked him up at the time. But I've got one now. So we're gonna do a mini Snake Man theme within our overall Masters of the Universe theme because I do have, like I said, I do have Terror, and I've got one other Snake Man to open up, which is the Snake Man Infiltrator. So and also, long time coming. I've meant to pick this one up for a while. I got the Attorney and Royal Guard finally. So that means that when I open up our Snakeman Infiltrator, I'm going to make that episode a twofer because I'm going to have like basically two of the same figure. They're pretty much the same, just with different paint and a few different accessories. But we'll get into that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So anyway, I'm going to open up Lord Grasp, and I've wanted to have this figure for a while. They actually made him for the Masters Universe Classics line, but it was a PowerCon exclusive, so it was a little hard to find. Now this guy, you can see the glue has already started to come loose here, but I guess somebody taped him back onto the package to make sure that he didn't fall off all the way. So I'm going to have to cut the tape over here to get him open. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do that. It's kind of barely glued just a little bit at that corner. You see where the paper actually did tear. And we do have a comic book, but it's going to be a comic book with no dialogue in it because, again, this is, the tri-language edition. So some really nice artwork, as usual. We got Lord Grasp communicating with whatever the hell this lady's name is. I forget. She's an expensive figure, too, so I haven't gotten her yet. And you see Ratlore? I don't think it's Ratlore. He's wearing a breastplate. He does look kind of like Ratlore, though. I don't know which character it is because I don't have him. So, but yeah, and he gets shot. He gets shot with a bolt of energy, and apparently it's this guy whose name is like Reptilicus or something. It's some like later Masters Universe character where like they started giving them like kind of names you would expect out of like a fantasy novel or something. Not like goofy, punny names like we're used to. And then Skeletor shows up and he snags this amulet. Skeletor is wearing his snake armor, and there's like a ship overhead, and splash panel of Skeletor, who I'm sure will be saying something like really Skeletor-like if that was the case. Lord Grasp, though, even though he got shot, he's still in there fighting, and he's got this serpent sword here, which I think is the thing that he was trying to get from what's her face. And then we have like the silhouette of King Hiss down at the bottom. That's about the best I can do with it, man. Like it's got no dialogue, so it's like if I tried to read the silent issue of GI Joe on here, and it just like, so then Snake Eyes throws a grenade at the dude, and he's all shocked, and he gets blowed up real good, and then you see Scarlet, crawling out through this manhole, and then she smacks this guy with the manhole cover, and there's only so much you can do. So he's got the accessories in here in the bubble with him, as they've been doing it these days, and I'm able to pull it out. So he's got this snake shield. You can see it's the same color, sort of pale, washed out green as his helmet, or helmet, his cape. Oh, wait, I said helmet. And then we got the rubber tabs again at the worst possible place, but I was still able to get that one. And it looks like this rubber tab is somehow wrapped itself around like the top part of the bubble there. Very strange. But I got it off. It's fine. And he's got one more rubber tab around this wrist. And I don't see if there's any rubber tabs around. There should not be any rubber tabs around this arm with the claw at all, because you can see the claw is very well embedded in this plastic. There is no reason that they need to put a rubber tab around it, but they did. It's on the inside of the claw. Oh, geez. So the history of Lord Grasp is rather interesting. He was a character that was discovered on some artwork done by Earl McCarthy. It was artwork that was intended to go on the back of action figure packages. I took his head off because I'm gonna try to get the figure out without the cape, because the cape is kind of embedded in the back here, and I figured it'd be easier to pull the cape through the back, and I was right. That was really easy. And then he's got his snake staff. So he's got two accessories. He's got the shield. He's got the snake staff. I believe this is the same shield that comes with King Hiss, but in green instead of red. But I don't have King Hiss yet. Oh, yeah, that's a tease. And the rest of the bubble just fell off of there. So we got a really nice example of a Masters of the Universe packaging that doesn't actually have like a whole lot of wear and tear from the glue being pulled off of it. So that's nice. All right, so before I put the cape back on him, let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. So this guy is a hodgepodge of parts that were used on previous figures, and that is actually what the character was originally going to be if he'd have been released in the original line, which he was not. So Errol McCarthy, like I said, had done some artwork for the back of the packaging for this guy, for Terror, this guy, and you can see he also is a hodgepodge of parts. All the figures in this wave that were planned for this wave were all like just Frankenstein together from other characters' parts. So like Hero would have been a figure that just came out, but they were already reusing Hero's chest for Plasmar, I believe is that character's name. It's Slamurai, who was basically just a redo of Ninjor. Duh. And then you had Lord Grasp, and you had Terror, and there might have been one or two other ones, but those are the main ones I remember. And like I said, none of these were produced. The only thing that exists for them is the black and white line art that Errol McCarthy did. Nobody knows what these characters' names were originally supposed to be. It's kind of obvious that this guy and our Whiplash looking guy were Snake Men, because obviously. But nobody knew what colors these were going to be. So when Mattel decided to do these as a con exclusive, they made up new color schemes for these characters, and they made up new names. So I kind of figured this guy wound up being purple because they definitely wanted him to not be green, since he's very obviously Whiplash. This guy was kind of colored with a lot of dark shading in the actual line art, so he was probably always intended to be a black snake. But who knows what color the rest of him was going to be. I really like this color scheme because he's black and orange and green and yellow, and those are the colors of Halloween. And I love Halloween. So yeah, all the parts that are reused from this guy is he's got the head of Squeeze, which is a figure I don't have in Origins yet. He's got the claw of Clawful, which is a character I don't have in Origins yet. And his claw seems to work a little differently from Clawful. So I want to say Clawful, the original one, like the claw was not in two parts like this, that the handle of it was on the same piece as the rest of the claw. I could be mistaken. It's been a long time since I've messed around with that. But I did have the figure over here recently. Do I still have him over here? We could have a look at it. Probably should have thought about that before, but whatever. I'm in kind of a hurry. So I don't have a whole lot of time left on StreamYard this month, and it rolls over on the 20th, and today is the 18th. So I still need to try to get through 2 more episodes. Otherwise, I can't do an episode tomorrow, or I have to do it streaming on YouTube. Ugh. So yeah, somewhere around here, I could have sworn I still had that guy. I might have went in and put him back in my bin of older figures, or he might be on the other side of the room. I don't know. But but yeah, so I don't know why a snake man would have a lobster claw, but it looks cool, so I'm not going to complain. And unlike Clawful, he doesn't have a claw on the other hand. He's just got this regular old gripping hand. So yeah, he would have been on the original line. He-Man's legs, Skeletor's left arm. So he would not have had a gripping hand necessarily. The right arm of Clawful and the head of Squeeze, and then of course the torso and trunks of He-Man. So yeah, and then he would have had a soft goods cape, unlike this guy who has a plastic cape. I don't like plastic capes as well as the soft goods cape, and I really feel like the soft goods capes would work a lot better in this particular line. But whatever, we got what we got. This is his plastic cape. Before I put it back on, though, let's go ahead and talk about his articulation. So Squeeze can look up. Squeeze. Lord Grass can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt his head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate his head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. The elbow joint, it is a single joint at the elbow, and it seems kind of stuck a little bit on him, but I got it to move. So it extends out about that far, bends up about that far, and of course rotates all the way around. Now, since this has got the Clawful claw, obviously we've been playing with this already. Got a little bit of extra articulation there, if you want to call it that. It moves anyway, but it is a gimmick, so it doesn't stay posed in any position. You can just open it, it snaps back shut. Wrist rotates all the way around, his regular wrist, and then it has a horizontal hinge, so it moves back and forth like so. And I believe, yeah, the claw is actually has a articulation where it can rotate all the way around. He rotates all the way around at the pelvis. Lord Grass can kick up about that far. He's got double jointed knees, which extend. I'm sorry, he's got single jointed knees, which extend about that far, bend about that far, rotate all the way around. He's got a boot cut that rotates all the way around. Foot points down about that far, foot points up about that far, and it rotates all the way around. So let's go ahead and get him geared up. Now that we've been over all that, I'll put the cape back onto him, so I don't have the cape interfering with the articulation. And since this is a plastic molded cape, it is a remold of Scareglow's cape. So again, with the Halloween kind of look to him, I do really like that color scheme. He's just a sharp looking figure, and ever since I saw the classics version, I've just been kind of fascinated with this guy, and I've wanted to have him. So I'm glad to finally have one that's a little bit easier to get than a PowerCon exclusive. Although I still had to go through some stuff to get him. Like I said, originally this was a Walmart exclusive, but it was one of those where it was just kind of a temporary Walmart exclusive, and then eventually hit online retailers. And I saw him pop up at Big Bad Toy Store first, or not Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth. I saw him pop up at Entertainment Earth first, so that's where I got it from. I would have got it from Big Bad Toy Store if it had popped up there first, because I usually prefer them. So you can put the shield on his arm and have him holding the snake staff at the same time. Or if you prefer, he can grip the snake staff in his pincer, his claw. Although it doesn't seem to stay in there very well. But, you could do that if you wanted to. Seems like the original Clawful, his claw had a little bit more of a grip than that. Although I could be mistaken. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just put this back in his hand then. And if you did have the original Skeletor with the sort of open hand there, I'm pretty sure that you could kind of loop it around in such a way. But it does seem like it's a little bit tight for that. But you could probably squeeze it in there. See what I did? Anyway. But yeah, this accessory is kind of odd, and it came with all the Snake Men. But I always kind of liked it because it's an accessory that you can kind of use your imagination with a little bit. You could use it as like a magic staff or some kind of weapon, or he literally has a pet snake that's on there or something. So anyway, Lord Grasp is a really cool figure. I really appreciate it's got like this detail, the painting on there, where it's like this kind of scale pattern that's kind of painted on there. Looks really cool. A lot of people dislike the Squeeze head because it is kind of generic reptile looking. Doesn't necessarily look that much like a snake to me. It looks more like a crocodile with like flat teeth. He doesn't even have pointy teeth. Which, like, what's the scariest thing about a snake? He's got pointy teeth that he's gonna bite you with. Well, this guy can't bite shit. He looks like he looks like he's a vegetarian. Like, those are some herbivore teeth if I ever saw some. Can you imagine this guy grazing? And then, they didn't give him any kind of like breastplate or harness or anything like that. He's just got a Snake Men logo kind of stamped on his chest. But it's one of those where, like, it's simple and effective. I think it's a very sharp looking figure, even if it does have, like, a lot of reused parts. And it's kind of elegant in its simplicity, as I like to say about stuff. So I enjoy Lord Grasp. He was definitely worth the wait. I'm definitely glad to pick him up. Look, he's even got like some of the straps painted in on his boots. So he's got orange boots with green straps on them. That's pretty cool. So yeah, Lord Grasp definitely gets a recommend from me. If you can get a hold of this guy, I recommend looking at online retailers like Entertainment Earth, where I got this guy, or Big Bad Toy Store might have them in stock by now. I haven't checked, but definitely worth picking up. Now, this guy, on the other hand, Terror, jury's still out on him. I'm gonna have to open him up and get him in my hands before I decide how I feel about this. And if you want to make sure you don't miss that episode, make sure you like, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Lord Grasp, and is he one that's worth picking up for you? So, or are you just looking at him being like, it's just another kit bash, I don't care? Or are you like me and you realize that the kit bashes are an important part of the history of Masters of the Universe? Hey there, Max. We're just wrapping up. I don't have a whole lot of time left because, like I said, I'm running out of StreamYard minutes. But it's good to see you, definitely. So thanks for stopping by. You can make sure you watch the replay and catch the rest of it. We've been talking about Lord Grasp. But I will be back next episode to talk about Terror. And then after that, we'll be getting on to the Attorney and Royal Guard and Snakeman Infiltrator and talk about those. And then probably, I guess I'm still gonna have lots of Masters of the Universe stuff. So got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next time. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff down below. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Lord Grasp. I think he's a pretty cool figure. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. All right, bye.